Hey there, I'm going to talk to you about using IMDb to your advantage as a musician, a composer, songwriter, engineer. If you're an actor, obviously, a director, wannabe screenwriter, or whatever, it's a great tool in many, many ways. IMDb stands for Internet Movie Database, and it was started in the 90s as a kind of a forum for keeping track of all the credits that were out there. And way back in 1998, Amazon bought it, which is actually a really smart move on their part. So they've owned it for over 20 years. And basically what it does is it anytime there's a movie, a TV show, a video game now, they're starting to do games, things like that. Even I think, if it's a rock video for an artist or something like that, a music video, that may be up there as well. And not commercials, but everything else pretty much is up there. Anything that's on your TV is going to be on IMDb. And it'll list all the credits. It'll list the actors and the directors and all that stuff. And most people use it, if you have a favorite director, or if you have a movie you really like and you go, oh, who's the director? I really like his work. You look up the director and then you'll find 3 or 4 or 5 other movies that you're probably going to like because you liked movie A. So same thing's true with actors. Oh, I really like this actor. What else have they done? And that's largely how most people use IMDb. But in the industry, it's used very much for connecting, for checking out the legitimacy of people. And that's kind of first thing I want to talk about is when basically you can kind of check up on people. Google's been around for a long time, so you can kind of do that too. But professionally, if someone's calling you and say, hey, I want you to play guitar on my movie, I'm a composer, and it's going to be great, and you'll get all these accolades, and it'll be awesome, and we'll give you an IMDb credit. Well, you could look them up and see if they have any actual credits. If they have one or none, they may be pulling your chain. And if they have 15 or 20, then they're okay, they might be legit, and it might be someone you definitely want to work with. I would be very, very leery of working for anyone just for the IMDb credit, because ultimately what you're doing is you're watering down the ability for people to make a living if you're willing to do stuff basically for free. A credit is not, you can't take an IMDb credit to the bank and get a car loan. You can't take it to the grocery store and buy groceries. So, but it is a great tool for checking out to see if someone is legitimate that wants to hire you. And ultimately, as you develop credits, it's a great way for people to check on your legitimacy. Now, I'm not sure. My credit, let's see, where's mine? I have it right here. I have different kinds of credits, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But in the music department credits, I have 188 different credits. Now, some of them may be like I have music on Let's Make a Deal, and I had it on hundreds and hundreds of episodes. But that just counts as one credit because it's one show overall. But I was pretty much had music on every episode. Same thing with Price is Right and different shows like that. So, but you got to start with one, and I started with one. I think my first credit was back in '91, and before IMDb existed. So I actually went back and started adding some of the credits of things I did in the early '90s. Once I figured out how to update my IMDb page. So basically, if you want to have an IMDb page, you might already have one if you've got credits. Somebody else will do that oftentimes. Oftentimes my name will show up in shows that I worked on before I've had a chance to enter it. Somebody's taken it upon themselves, maybe some staff or some intern or something at the show has done it. So, but if you need to do it, you're going to need to get an account. You can probably use your Amazon account, probably use your Google account or whatever, or you can create a unique account. I think I did that. I just created a unique account that I use to log into IMDb and make the changes. They also have an app. You can download the app for your phone. And so what I will do is every time I do something, work on a show, work on a movie, there's all sorts of different types of credits, I will add it to my IMDb. So I've got composer credits or additional music composed by. I've got musician credits, played music on a lot of movies and a lot of TV shows and games and things like that. So, and I will be very specific about it. I will say music, you know, they make you say musician, colon, and then they put what instrument did you play. So acoustic guitar, or musician, colon, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, or musician, colon, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, bass, musician, colon, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, bass, mandolin, and so on and so forth. I've got some that are pretty long. And particularly I like to have ones up there that have the weird instruments that I play. Because I feel like, hey, if somebody's going to go hunting for that, because those are all, you know, can be hyperlinked in or metadata that's in IMDb that people can search by, so that if they're looking for someone that can play drone guitar, then they can find me. So, and I also have song credits for songs that I've written with other songwriters that appeared in soundtracks. And that's in the soundtrack section of IMDb. That's a tougher one to kind of update. It took me a while to figure that out. But once I figured it out, I was like, okay, I got it. And what I did was I copy and pasted the data. It's kind of like editing HTML back in the day. And I copy and pasted that so I know what things I have to replace. I've actually got actor credits. Remember I did that the video on sidelining. So that is under actor credit. So I have about 8 or 9 of those, I think. Also coaching credits for coaching actors to pretend to play guitar or to actually play guitar in their movie or TV show. I've done that quite a bit. And so those credits get up there, and they all add up. And sometimes if someone's looking for a coach, they might find me that way. So anyway, it's really, really good tool to keep track of your records. It's kind of encouraging too. As you get up to 10, you're like, well, I got 10, you know, get to 20, things like that. Now you can also find, like if you work on a student film, oftentimes the director from a student film is going to put all that, you know, create a IMDb page for that movie and or that short, and then you can add yourself to it, or you can ask them to add you to it. And then, you know, the same thing is true with a short film. If you work on a short film or a project for something, that, you know, that would be a great way to get it started, okay? Some video project that you worked on that happens to have an IMDb credit. And like I said, I use it, you know, it's encouragement sometimes to go back and go, okay, I've got a lot. Now, I've got, what did I say, 188? I think George Deering has over 1,100 credits, and they're like serious credits. Like every movie you've ever seen, George Deering is probably playing guitar on it. It's kind of like Tommy Tedesco back in the day. He played on so many movies and TV shows. He was at one point, I think, in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's most recorded musician. So now the other thing I will use IMDb for is for reconnecting with people that I've worked with. So say, for example, there's a composer that I haven't worked with in a couple of years. Maybe he moved out of town. Maybe he's only working with orchestras or whatever. And I will keep tabs on their IMDb to see if they've got any new credits. Because sometimes they'll use music that I played on, that they already paid me to play on for another project. But they're using that music in another movie, and I ask them, I say, hey, am I on any of these? And they may say, oh yeah, you are on that. Yeah, for sure, put yourself down on that one. And so I will add myself down as a guitar player on this movie or whatever. It's another way of finding some stuff. But the other thing is, oftentimes when I reconnect with somebody from maybe I haven't worked with in a couple of years, they will reply, hey, what are you doing next week? I need a guitar player for this session. So it's, you know, anytime you can kind of take your folder and put it on top of everybody else's folder, that's a good way to do that, okay? It's another way. Another thing you can do is potentially research potential clients, whether it be composers. Like I work for composers and producers. So, and I'm going to talk about All Music and Discogs in another video. This is on IMDb, but oftentimes when I'm trying to get music on TV shows, one of the things I like to do is I like to reach out to video editors, because they're the ones that actually drag the music into the show and then edit to it on reality shows. And we've talked about that before, I think. But so, you know, it's a way you can reach out to people. Now, if someone's name is John Smith, you're probably not going to find them. But if their name is Dweezil McFaddlewaddle, Then, you know, they might have a Facebook page or a Twitter or something. You can follow them and tweet to them and you really like their show or something. You know, you really like their work. If you know, legitimately like their work, don't BS people, but do a little research, find some people to work with. Now, how do you update it? Okay, so first thing you're going to do, and I'm going to give you an example here. I have an episode of Price is Right that I had a song on according to my BMI statement back in 2018, December 27th, 2018. So I basically go to IMDb, I enter Price is Right, I scroll down, I click on 2018, and then because it's December 27th, it's going to be way at the end there, so I'm going to click all the way down there, click on that episode, scroll down on that episode, and click on Edit, and then scroll down to Music Department, go to the right, and then drag that little window down there, or that little thing down, and pull down to add 1 credit. Or if you're co-writing with someone, you can say add 2 credits, and then it'll have 2 windows on the next page. So then you go down to the bottom of this page and click Edit, and it'll open up a page where you can enter your name. And what they'll do is they'll put it Strahle Tom, and you can enter Tom Strahle, but I think it shows up Strahle Tom or something. And then you can enter what your role was. And in this case, I was a composer of additional music. So that's basically how you do it. Then you go down and click on Submit, and then it checks it for you and makes sure you did it right. If it's a new type of credit, it may say, "Are you sure?" Like whenever I do actor or something like that, it'd be like, "Are you sure?" And if I put, if your name is spelled differently or something, it may ask you, "Are you sure?" And then you hit Submit, and then the final page should come up. And then if you have it set up where you get email notifications, you can get a notification when they approve it. Now, for some, when you first start doing that, it may take a while for them to approve it because they don't know you. You don't have a track record with them. But I bet you IMDb, 99% of the entries are done by people that don't work for IMDb. It's either interns working on the shows or people that are entering their credits into the search engine. So what you'll want to do is do that, and then eventually, you know, like now when I do it, it almost appears immediately. Like if I go back in an hour, that credit should be up on IMDb, okay? All right, so hopefully that helps, and this could be a cool way to at least, if you're not even familiar with IMDb, it's a great tool just for learning about all the people and all the different types of jobs that are involved in making movies and TV shows and computer games and all that kind of stuff. So God bless you. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.